Okay, so shall we wait for a few more because we seem to have great representation. We've got Jeff, we've got Leah, and we've got Myra. Do you go by Almira or Myra?
No, you can just Myra.
Myra.
Just
Okay. Okay, we've got Karen Schultz and Jennifer. Any word from anybody else?
Good morning, all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, Schultz?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Into our WhatsApp chat if anybody else will be with us. And we'll just give them another couple of minutes if that's all right. Let me check the acceptances on our Gmail. Okay, so we are almost on 8:05.
Okay.
Melissa, do you want to kick off?
Absolutely. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know where everybody is, so I'm very sorry, but hello. And thank you so much for joining us today. So I guess today on our call, we've got Myra, who will be, sorry, I didn't bring the bio with me, but we shared it with everyone, and we're very excited to hear about all things AI and coaching. So looking forward to this conversation. We also record it because a lot of our coaches, there always a time conflict and stuff. So a lot of them watch it back afterwards. So thank you so much. And thank you for joining CIPCA. CIPCA is a small but mighty organization in the Cayman Islands, and we are a band of qualified coaches, all different varieties, all different modes and mediums and stuff. So we're really excited to have you. So thank you so much for joining us. And people will also join as we kind of continue just with school drop-offs and stuff. So please don't be alarmed, but we might have people pop up as and when. So, but thank you so much for joining us, and I'll hand it over.
Okay, I'm assuming you're handing it over to me right now. Okay.
Yeah, Lorna will need to do that as.
Yes, absolutely. You shall be the host.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I don't have anything completely prepared for today because this was a last minute request, but we are going to take Ask the Expert X. I can't even speak. The Expert style. It is 6 o'clock in the morning for me, so my brain has not caught up to my mouth yet. So I'm going to have Jeffrey Goddard also with me today. We're going to do some basic introductions. But before we do any kind of introductions, I would love to learn more about you. So if you can, we're a small group, so if you can introduce yourself, share your name, what's your coaching specialty, and what's your level of comfort with AI. So I'm happy to call on people who are here. That way we can make sure that everyone gets a chance. So I'm going to look at the list. So I'm going to start, Lorna, can we start with you?
Of course, of course. So, Lorna Murphy, I'm the president of CIPCA. My coaching speciality is life coaching and business coaching. And my comfort level with AI is I've been playing with it, but don't really know how to use it yet.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Next on the list is Melissa.
Hi, good morning. So I'm Melissa. My coaching specialty. So I'm mostly an in-house coach, but I would consider myself to be an accountability coach. And I also play with AI. We do have it embedded in our business in a few areas as well, but I definitely don't create anything super, super extensive.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for that. Nice to meet you. Jennifer.
Hi.
Sorry, Freya.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, how's it going? So my name's Freya. My coaching specialty is around executive and business, but high performance as well. And high performance is very much my passion. So working with athletes and AI comfort level, probably similar to Lorna. I'm playing with it in a few different applications, but I'm not, I would say, comfortable nor confident with it.
Nice to meet you. Jennifer, sorry. I was like, all the names moved all of a sudden on me.
No problem at all. I'm Jennifer Cahill. So my specialty would be more career and leadership coaching. So I'm an executive recruiter by kind of background. So I kind of do it as part of that and then separate to that. AI, ChatGPT is kind of where I am at with it. We've been using it in the business more with marketing and, kind of helping us with some of the language and tone and things like that. And it's actually been pretty good. I've been very pleasantly surprised. But no, I'm not. Outside of ChatGPT, I'm not in any way. I know I should be, but there's loads of other tools, but I'm not. That's the level at which I kind of use it, and within the business. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay, well, nice to meet you.
You too.
Karen.
Karen can't get her audio
Okay.
on this morning.
No worries. Karen, if you can introduce yourself in the chat, that would be amazing. Sarah. I don't know if Sarah's able to unmute.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So can you introduce yourself, Sarah? We're asking for name, your coaching specialty, and your level of comfort with AI.
The name is Sarah Jan, coaching with leadership and teams. Executive coaching, I guess, is what it's sometimes called. I love AI. I use it almost every day.
Okay, thank you for that. Schultz.
Good morning. My name is Schultz Moyo, and my specialty is in leadership and team and process management coaching. I use AI mainly for research. I'm not really as well versed in terms of utilizing it in coaching.
Okay, well, thank you. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for doing your introductions. Now my team will do our introductions. So my sister really does not like when I put her on the spot, but I'm gonna have Leah introduce herself. She's actually my sister. We are a sister ran company. So Leah, can you do a quick introduction of yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Leah. I'm head of operations at UnDesto AI. I'm a huge AI enthusiast. I'm a certified AI ethics and governance professional, and I also build out AI agentic workflows.
And Leah is located in New Hampshire in the United States. Jeff.
Hi, my name is Jeff Goddard. I'm Myra's partner in Cayman. I run Olive Consulting. It's also early for me, Myra. So Myra and I partnered last year, and we are assisting clients with implementation and AI literacy. And we also represent the Blanchard companies here in the Cayman Islands.
Yep. And so I just want to acknowledge that Karen introduced herself in the chat. Thank you for doing that. So I guess I'm last. So I'm Myra Roldan. Everyone just calls me Myra. I'm like Prince. I only go by one name. So I am an AI specialist. I've been in the AI field for 12 years. I've been in tech for over 20 years. I worked at Amazon for 7 years in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and cloud computing. And I've trained over 2,500 individuals on artificial intelligence personally. That's my count. I keep a count, almost like a body count of people that I interact with and train. So you will now be added to my roster of people that I have touched with AI. My goal is to get to 5,000 this year. We'll see if I get to that number. And I am the CEO of UnDesto AI. I'm also a chief AI officer and a chief AI and ethics and governance professional. I teach certification courses now on chief AI officers, ethics officers. There's a bunch of certifications that we are offering. We are a small boutique consulting company located in Las Vegas, Nevada in the US. And the way my elevator pitch is, I'm the woman that executives call when they want to launch AI, they need to fix their AI, or their AI has crashed and burned and they need like ER help. I'm a former nurse. I was a nurse for 10 years prior to entering into tech. So I use a lot of my nursing skills to help my clients because it's a lot of triage. It's a lot of trying to figure out what's your pain point, what hurt, like where are you struggling, and then trying to find solutions for them that will help them not just patchwork, but to actually help them solve the problem that they have. So I want to thank you all for inviting me to this today too. Lorna reached out to me via LinkedIn. I met Lorna at the HR conference in Cayman. I was there last week with Jeff. We held a workshop. We did a radio segment. We were all over the place for a week in Cayman. So Jeff took really good advantage of having me there with him. Jeff is my contact, is the main point of contact in Cayman Islands. So if you are looking for any kind of interaction with a customer or your client and you need some AI expertise, Jeff would be your point of contact in Cayman for us, just because he's local and easier to get a hold of. I spend my life on a plane. Okay, so let's get started. So this is what I was having and what I had in mind today is, first of all, I want to set some ground rules and give us a framework for the conversations that we're going to have today. So we're going to be looking at AI through a coaching lens. And so I want us to take care, I want us to gain clarity, and I want us to be curious. Okay, so by care, I mean, let's think about AI ethically. There's a lot of different things that you need to consider when you're working with AI. I want you to gain clarity around AI, like what's AI's real capabilities and what do you need to be careful with? And then curiosity. I want you to ask questions. No question is a dumb question. I'm going to start there. So ask your questions. I don't have a formal presentation where I'm going to walk you through steps. I want this to be more valuable for you and the things that you want to talk about. So, what questions do you have? You can raise your hand or just ask it. I also have some like starter questions here that we can use if you'd like that instead. So happy to kick it off. Does anyone have a burning question that you would like to ask, or would you like to go through the questions on screen?
If I may, could I ask a question, please? Lorna here. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, perfect. So I guess with me, it's the ethical considerations. You know, a lot of people have been posting up, oh, I've been using AI as a coach and it's brilliant and it's giving me really good advice or like getting me to breakthroughs and insights. But what about data farming and the fact that AI is learning from everything that we put into it?
Yes, so you made a great point there. So AI became democratized, right, in 2022, and OpenAI launched ChatGPT in research format. I don't think they were expecting it to gain the traction that it's gained. So they trained ChatGPT on all of the data of the internet, on books. So it has a huge knowledge base. The problem with tools like generative AI tools is that it's a black box, right? So there has to be human intervention at the beginning and human intervention at the end. So it's, human, AI, human. Whatever data you're putting into AI, into that tool, is a black box. You cannot remove it. We also don't know like where it's being stored, how secure is it. There is a case with Samsung where there was a data leak through ChatGPT. I think it was in 2023. And so the assumption should be that no data is secure. Any data that goes in, even if they tell you that they're not going to train it on your data, they don't have to train it on your data because you're already doing it when you're interacting with the model. Okay. So from an ethical standpoint, you should not be entering personal identifying information. If you are creating using data that you want to like generalize, right? So you're removing names, any personal identifying information, and you want to create like scenarios, or you want to create case studies. I would recommend that you use a balanced data set. And by what I mean by balanced is making sure that you have representation of the population that you're trying to work with, right? And that representation comes in the form of not only gender, it comes in the form of gender, race, age, nationality, income, class. There's a bunch of different demographics and ways that we can slice data. And so when you're talking about people who are using ChatGPT as a coach and having some great breakthroughs, I would ask, what type of coaching are they using it for? Right? Because that's important. Are you using it for mental health coaching? That's a really great area. Are you using it for nutrition coaching? It's a little bit better, right? Because there's tons of public sets around, or data sets around food and nutrition, and you do need to have specific information about your client still when you're working with that. I would say that if you're using a tool like ChatGPT, I would upgrade to the team version, is a business version, because the data has different protections at that point because it's considered a business account. They treat the data differently. But I also put some urgency on the fact that you need to be careful what data you're using. Okay. And so for those who have had breakthroughs, I would ask, what kind of coaching are you doing? Again, like it's very hard, right? Because are they over exaggerating? Also, have you all heard of AI washing? Okay, so AI washing is like similar to greenwashing. So AI washing is when a company overstates their use of AI in order to gain popularity, traction, investment, customers. And so I would also question what type of breakthrough that you have, right? I think there's a lot of vagueness in words that people use to describe their usage of AI. So I would have, questions. And I mean, everyone's gonna try. We live in an age where everyone wants to be an AI expert, and they want to showcase how they've used AI to do a specific thing, right? When in reality, what they're doing is they're entering a prompt. They may be or may not be reading the outputs correctly and making edits to it. They may be taking it at face value. That's very dangerous. So that's my soapbox. I feel like I could go on forever on that one.
Sorry.
Leah, do you have anything yeah, go ahead, Jennifer.
Are there coaching specific AI tools that you're aware of? Because it's not something from a coaching context that I would have even considered using. I know it's going to permeate all aspects of life, so it makes sense. But are there coaching specific AI tools?
There are. I think the issue is that a lot of the tools that you are going to find were created on the fly. And what this I mean is they treated it like a toy. So before you use any coaching tools, I would ask, if you find some, I would ask, where's the data being stored? What are you doing with the data? How are you protecting the data? Are you using the data to then create a mail list for yourself, right? Where you're going to start sending content to these people? Is there some kind of sneaky way that you're using it? Are you going to be using this to create like your own case study? There's a lot of considerations when you're using coaching tools. So Leah and I were at a trade show in Miami, and there was a gentleman who had a booth next to us, and he had software that was supposed to coach people through the immigration process in the US. So Leah, you remember what was his name? DeepMind? What was it?
Sorry, my mic was off. DeepMind AI.
Yeah, DeepMind AI. So basically it was this software that he created off of ChatGPT. No securities, like we don't know where the data was going. His pitch was long-winded. And when people are giving you long-winded explanations about their things, it's because they are trying to overrepresent what they have, so you don't look at the holes. The more information they give you about how wonderful their tool is, the less questions you're going to ask about it, right? Because you're going to be like, oh, they gave me all this information, it must be good. So it can be deceptive in general. So when you're looking at, if you start doing a search for coaching tools, I urge you to figure out like what are they doing with the data? How long have they been in business? What are they looking to do? Is it a 2-year-old company that built software and has never built any other software? Those raise a lot of red flags.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you. Because I'm just wondering, I know within the business, there is our operations person that you can kind of train a model, you know what I mean, in terms of your tone of voice and all of these sort of things. Can you do that from like a basic ChatGPT account, you know, that you could train it, I suppose, for your coaching practice, if you like?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that something, is that something you'd recommend? Have you seen, you know what I mean, in terms of, or how easy is that to do?
Yeah, oops, let me power up. I'm going to do a demo because it's easier for me to show you in a demo than it is to show you and than to talk to it, right? Just talk through it. So let me open up here and let me reshare my screen because I don't think I was sharing the whole screen. Okay, here we go. So this is my friend Chatty GPT. I give my Chat GPT a name. It's Chatty. So when I'm on a team version, it's a business version. So
Mhm.
let's say I want ChatGPT to be an executive coach that writes in my style of voice and is able to help me as a business person develop some coaching strategies, right? That it can offer to clients. So I'm going to say the method that I use for prompt writing is called the RICE method, and it's roles, instruction, context, example. And so what I would do is I would write here, you are in the role of an executive coach. Or let's just put executive coach. I'm giving it the role. Now the instructions I'm going to do, and you can, when you're writing it out, you can write instructions. I think I wrote instructions right. I'd like you to act as a seasoned coach who can help executives or C-suite executives. So our specialty is going to be in leading teams. Lead teams. So that's the instruction, right? So I'm giving it, I gave it the role, I gave it the instruction. I'm going to give it the context. You will be helping me to coach my clients. You don't have to give a ton of context, right? And then, but the more context you give it, the better it's going to get. And then I'm going to give it an example. So I'm going to say example. I'm going to provide you with my tone, my writing style, and that includes my tone of voice and approach. Please use this. I'm going to say, please save it. Please save it as Myra Coach. This Myra Coach. And then I'm going to give it a file. Let's see if I can find a good file in here. Oh, those are my, let's see. So then you're going to find a file that has like your voice, your tone, and your form of coaching. I don't do coaching, so I'm going to give it something else. I'm going to give it one of my books. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to give it probably a book. Let's see, I have a fraction of a book in here, I think. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to give it a fraction of a book. So I'm just looking for something that will have my tone of voice, right? I'm going to give it this thing. And then I'm just going to click save. So what this is going to do is ChatGPT now, I gave it a role, I gave it context. This is just a regular, this is not considered a custom GPT. This is just so I can use it on the fly, right? This is just one that I can use. So it says, got it, your executive coaching approach, whenever you share details about your clients, their leadership challenges or context, your coaching, and I'll step in the role of a seasoned executive. Okay, so now let's give me an example for an executive coaching, like a mock client thing that you would deal with. Any ideas? Suggestions?
Creating psychological safety in teams.
Okay. So then you don't have to give it a role again because it already knows the role. Working, so you're going to give it context. I'm working with a client and I'm coaching her on creating psychological safety. Let's see if I can type in Teams. She is struggling as she has received feedback that she is unapproachable. I'm going to give just, we're going to make a horrible boss here. And rigid. Employees are, employee surveys show that there is low engagement and low trust in the organization. Some claiming it's her leadership style. Right? So we gave it some context about the client. You don't have to give a name. You don't have to do like, this is where you keep your client information out. So now I just hit, you can give it as much context. The more context you give it, the better it's going to be. And so here's what it's saying, right? Let's name it plainly. Your client is receiving tough feedback. And then it says, you know, if her team is saying otherwise, then the signal is to pause and recalibrate. And then tells me what should I explore with her? And it gives me some prompts. It's still going. Have her reflect on her leadership inventory, and then tools that I can use with her. Coaching affirmations for her. So it gives me a plan. Now, what I would say is that this isn't a complete plan, right? It is a starting point, and you as a coaching professional should be filling in the blanks. You may say, like, okay, this Google's Project Aristotle is not applicable at all. I'm going to remove that. That's fine. It's not relevant. I want to use a different tool, right? But this requires then you to read through this and learn, put on your coaching hat, put on your professional hat to say, like, is this a good plan? Would I have developed this plan for her had I not had access to ChatGPT? So that's what you need to, this is where the human intervention goes, right? So human, AI, human. So you can use it in your tone of voice, right? It's saved Myra Coach, and I can say, I need to give her advice using Myra Coach style. And then it's going to use the tone of voice and the style of writing that was saved in that Myra Coach style. And I was very vague. I said I need to give her advice. I didn't say what format or anything. So it's giving me different options. Right? And it looks like it's a letter format or email format. So you can also create a custom GPT. It requires a paid account also. And that same prompt, you would just put it in a custom GPT. So every time you use that GPT, it knows that it's a coach. It's your coach. Does everyone know how to create a custom GPT? Okay. Let's see. So I have the app on my computer. That's what I was using. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go to OpenAI here and go to ChatGPT. Let's see if I can type. Okay. So you have to be on the web version of ChatGPT. And what you're going to do is right here, you are going to create, oh, they moved it. You're going to go to GPTs. Yep. And then you
at the top.
create GPT. They moved the UI around a little bit. Here is where you would, all that stuff that we did in the previous one. Let me open the desktop version I had. So here, all this stuff that I put here, you would copy it and put it in here. And then you would attach the file again. And I think I did this one. And then I'm going to say save the attached PDF. Here, save as Myra's coaching, and change the title here because I'm using the same thing. And I'm just going to click, I can go to configure. Here you can give it additional instructions, right? You can put those same instructions here that you put here. You can configure it here. Or we're just going to do it right here and then just hit enter. And it's going to go through the same process. But what this is doing is creating a custom GPT that I can then use every single time I need it to be a coaching executive or executive coach for me. Okay, so you'll notice it's updating, and this is just modern coaching. It's giving it a name. I say let's call it that. That's fine. And then it's going to generate a profile picture for itself. And notice that here it gave me some prompts. Now you'll notice that there is some bias in the GPT because it thinks a coach is a male, especially when we talk about modern coaching. I'm going to say, I don't like that you assumed that all coaches are suit wearing males. So I like to berate my my GPT, but it's helping it to learn, right?
Myra, I'm just going to say I have fears of berating it because I'm just worried about when they fight back. So I'm very pleased and thank you and
Me
placated.
too.
No, so look what it came up with. It looks a little familiar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I say this is great. This is great.
I would never.
Let's use it.
This is great. If you're having a bad day, you could just come in and take it out on your ChatGPT.
Yeah, you really can. Yeah.
Better marriages, better relationships.
Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, so it's asking me, you can start chatting with it in preview right now. If you have any refinements and want to evolve the capabilities, I'm here to help. Would you like to test it with the real coaching scenario next? I'll say yes. Let's test it. And so I'm going to take from here, I would take my example. Where'd it go? I'm going to take this one. And I'm going to put it into my GPT over here. And so it's going to give me a different approach. It's approaching it differently than before, right? Because it's giving it a more structured approach compared to what we got in this one here. So let's compare the two. Right? Same question. Different response, which is super interesting, right? So same question, different response.
Do you think that's the difference between the paid version and the Teams version, Almira? Or obviously you get more when you pay for it kind of thing? Is that what it is?
Actually, yeah, actually it's the same version for me.
Okay. Because I have the paid version. I have the paid, not, so I have Teams and I but on my bad, I didn't realize that it's available through Teams. So I have a business Teams, but I have the paid online version that's the version I would use. So yeah, but I haven't created, I've just been going in and using the paid version, but I haven't been creating a
The
specific.
GPT. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. So note is you get a different response because this one is going to act as a coach all the time.
okay.
Over here, this is like ad hoc, right? So the difference between it now is I can say, I want you to use the tone of Myra coaching in your replies.
Can I
And
ask, Myra, why you're using the left or the right? How do you
yes,
make
because right now I am building a custom GPT. So any instructions I want to give it, so think this is like building software. This is the playground, like the actual preview of what I'm building on this side.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm giving it the instructions,
Okay.
right? So now I'm testing. So I'm building on this side and I'm testing on this side. So I'm going to put back the example and let's see if the language is different now. Yeah, see. So now it's using icons. It's a little bit more laid back. It's more conversational because that's the style that I fed it. So I asked it to use the Myra coaching style when, it's just like plain grounded, plain spoken, warm yet direct and practical. Where before it was like very rigid. So once I'm happy with it, I can click create up here. And I'm just going to use it myself. And then what this does is it's going to create a GPT, a custom GPT with me. It's going to show up here under GPTs, and it's going to be the modern coach. And even if I open up a new thing here, right, and I start typing whatever, I can be like, right, I'm going to get a different response here because I didn't even give it any context, right? Notice that it's just a little bit different.
Mm.
Whereas if I go back over here and I go to my coach, this coach will always answer as a executive coach. So you can build it so you have it all the time. I have a speaker manager here. I have a battle card builder. I have a lot of different GPTs that I've created. And they're for very specific uses, right? Like if I need to have my speaker manager do some work for me, I go to my speaker manager. If I need a personal assistant, I can create a personal assistant that does personal assisting things. So you can create it to get more value from it by creating something that does a task that's repetitive for you.
So could you, for example, get it to do like your branding, update your website, promotional materials?
Yeah, yeah. You actually could. It requires a little bit more. That's it. You would require what's called an automation, because what it would do here is it would give you suggestions. It would give you information, but it's not going to do the work for you. In order to get the GPT to do actual work for you, you need to create what's called an automation. And that automation would mean like every time you interact with it and you ask it something, it fires off. It's almost like a task, right? It's like, oh, she asked me to do this task. I need to connect to, let's say it's like, I want you to create a presentation for me based on this, but I want you to put it in Google Slides. I want you to categorize. I want specific things that I want you to do a social media post with it. That requires a connector, like a middleman, that can help the GPT do the actual work beyond the screen. And that,
what are
yeah.
they, Myra? Like what are those automated? Are they other apps or other things that you need to buy to integrate into ChatGPT?
Yeah, they are. So Leah, do you want to talk a little bit about automations really quick at
Sure.
a high level?
Sure. So Zapier and Make.com are two very famous automation builders that you can utilize. just like Myra said, they're rule-based. So essentially what you're doing is you're saying when something happens, so there's a trigger. So when something happens, you take these series of steps and you can integrate a chat GPT into those steps. So for example, if you wanted your website to update every time you posted a blog post and you wanted a synopsis made of that blog post, for example, that would be a series of steps that you would essentially calibrate on the back end with those automation softwares where ChatGPT would act as one of the steps, so one of the rules in your automation, and it would be able to take in whatever you've provided as a trigger, so say your blog post, and it would be able to then provide a synopsis and then it sends it to your website. That's just an example. But there's a ton that you can make, and there's lots of great resources on making relatively simple automations that can do things of that nature.
Yeah.
Could you put the two names in the chat, please?
Absolutely.
If you don't mind.
Of
Thank you
course.
very much.
And
You're
we can
welcome.
also support with building that for you. That's one of our services is we do
Okay.
build automations. So everyone, it's interesting because people think that, oh, I can build an automation really easy, and then they get stuck and then they're like,
That wasn't my first thought.
yeah.
Now, it is a little bit tricky because you are working with APIs, which is essentially just how you call upon different apps. So there's a little bit of technical understanding that you would need, but some of these are built in. So Zapier, for example, has great apps already built in that you can easily utilize. Make.com is a lot more customizable, but it is a lot less beginner user friendly. So
Okay. Yeah.
proceed with caution.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and so if you are interested in building automations for your coaching business, we can provide that service for you in building those automations and helping you to streamline your coaching business for you. Because I know that a lot of this feels like Greek, right? And a 1 hour session talking through things isn't enough to give you the skills you need to be able to do the work, right? I showed you how to create a simple GPT. The best way to learn how to do it is to get hands-on with it.
Yeah. No, that's just really interesting, even to be aware of that, because I have a recruitment business in Ireland, and there's just so much that's manual in that process, that kind of goes on around it. So it's something that I am thinking about, what I mean, with the tools that are available now, there has to be ways to make that a lot slicker and a lot more efficient. So no, that's just really interesting to know because again, it's all new to me.
Yeah. And if you're, like I said, if you need support and you're interested in getting more information, you can connect with Jeff, who would, is our contact there. And we can definitely help with those automations and helping to streamline your work.
Okay. No, thank you. Really interesting.
Yeah. All right. So was this helpful? Or we have 10 minutes, right? Are there any other questions?
I had a question that I had put in the chat that said, if you're going to pay for one of them, because there's so many, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to pay for one of them, would ChatGPT be the one?
It depends on the role that you are going to, or not the role, but the task that you're trying to use it. So I will give you an example. We're an AI company. We use AI throughout the day. We have licenses to different AI for different purposes. So I use, for example, I do a lot of research and I read a lot of scientific papers. So I use u.com to find research papers because it will review 200 sources. I use Notebook LM to create a knowledge base. I use ChatGPT for specific tasks like reviewing my writing, for brainstorming. I use Perplexity for research. Also, there's so many tools out there, right? I use different tools for different purposes.
Would ChatGPT be the one that, like, for beginners like ourselves?
Yeah, I would definitely. ChatGPT is a great starting point.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Was it u.com, Almira, that the first one you
Yeah.
sent there for the research? Okay.
Yeah, let me show you. So u.com is one of my favorite. Okay, so this is u.com. Hopefully you can still see my desktop.
Mm-hmm.
I have a paid version, a paid team version. Again, the difference, right? So this is a business version. And so in u.com, let's say I want to research new modern leadership. And then it has different, this is a research model right here. And so it says it will search deeper, right? And then I want it to provide me. Okay, so I'm telling it I want it to provide me with the resources also. And what it's going to do, it will search up to 200 sources of content. So there's another tool called Perplexity AI. Perplexity searches up to 20. ChatGPT will search 5. ChatGPT
Okay.
is lazy. And
Okay.
that ChatGPT gives you maybe dead links.
Yeah.
Okay, so with this one and Perplexity, they're reliable in terms of
Yes.
the research that they give you.
Because it's actually searching the internet. Okay, so then this one is asking me, notice it's asking me a question. It says, are you interested in specific leadership coaching methods like focused emotional intelligence, using technology, emphasizing diversity, inclusion, mindfulness, and well-being? So I'm going to say these two. And let's do utilizing technologies, right? And I can add something else and just click next. It's going to ask me specific. I wanted to academic journals, industry reports.
Yeah, will it show you the source,
Yeah,
Almira?
with it. Yeah, let me
Yes.
just, I'm going to show you some. I only want things that are within the last year. So it's asking me questions so it knows what research to do. And then it'll give you a source count down here. Notice it's already at 134 sources.
It's a lot quicker than I got through a paper.
Yeah, yeah. And it's doing more than 200 sources right now. I think
But this must be a nightmare for colleges with dissertations and everything. Like they've obviously had to develop
Yes.
tools to find where people have been using AI.
Yeah, so u.com, I wouldn't use it to write my dissertation, but I would use it to do my research.
Okay. Yeah.
Which would you use to write the dissertation then?
Huh?
Which would you use to write the dissertation then?
Probably Anthropic Claude.
Wow.
Claude 4.
We could be
Very good
doing
with
multiple masters at a time if we got Claude on the case.
Yeah.
So just so that way you're aware, ChatGPT does have a deep research modality as well built into ChatGPT, but U.com and Perplexity are both more reliable. It's been something that they've been developing for longer than ChatGPT has had the deep research modality.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
Yeah. And so notice it's still going, right? It tells you it's going to take a few minutes because I was very specific in what I wanted. So it is, and it's telling me the one thing that's different here is that it's telling me what it's doing.
Yeah.
Like it developed a plan, right? Then it's identifying academic journal articles. It's finding out, academic articles on leadership coaching methods. It's locating these articles on specific platforms because I had the 3 things that I ticked, right? And it's gathering information that's from the past year only because I wanted it. I was very specific.
Yeah.
So all the sources will appear here. There's 209 sources. Some are images, some are videos, news, right? So I can go through those sources, all 209 of them, right?
Yeah.
Will give me a summary here. And it gives you the citation so you can,
Oh, amazing. Okay.
and it I love the research mode because it's still writing. Sometimes it will give you a PDF that you can just download. Very beautiful compiled PDF.
No, it's a great way to just stay on top of current research, you know what I mean? And because you'd be wading through so much to try and find relevant papers. So it's just a great way to, even if you go off and do your own reading from there, just to keep you up to date with what's changing and evolving.
Yeah, definitely. And so it looks like it's done. I think it's still thinking, but it gave me a comprehensive summary of everything that it found.
I'm sure you could take some of those papers and upload them back into your custom GPT. Could you,
Yeah.
if you wanted to like
Yeah.
construct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Clever. That's a very good idea.
So yeah, but u.com is one of my favorite tools. So all right, so we are at time, it looks like. I hope that this was useful for everyone. It was very unstructured. Again, Jeff Goddard is our contact in the Cayman. He is on your time zone. I am not in your time zone. So Jeff can coordinate. I think we're actually planning to have me come back to the island also to do additional workshops. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm going to put my LinkedIn here. Jeff, can you share how they can get a hold of you? I know you put it in.
I put some details in the chat. Feel free to reach out. And just while I have some airtime, I'd like to thank CIPCA for the invite today. The work you do is critically important as we all are working on developing empowered and confident leaders. I think it's important to really work on AI literacy at this stage, and that's what we're hoping to achieve with the partnership that Myra through UnDesto and Olive have. I think it's really important to work on the mindset and the skill set when it comes to AI, and that is the powerful force that we've combined to create. So I hope today was useful, and feel free to connect with me. We will be having additional public workshops. We recently had one at Georgetown Yacht Club, and we're now planning a series that will commence after the summer.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, Leah, Jeff, and Myra, thank you so very much. This has been the quickest hour. I have so many more questions. I think I need the full day with you. But thank you so much for taking our invitation, for coming along, for giving us such great information. And it's very good to see you. And I'm sure you'll see some of us again at your workshops.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, everyone. Have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you. You too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.